What's your sign? What's your sign, baby? What's your sign? What's your sign?
Welcome to What's Your Sign? I'm Julia LOKEN.
I'm STEVIE GOLDSTEIN.
And I'm Lisa CHANOUX.
What's up, guys? It's nothing's
Been a minute.
Nothing's happened at all in the world or life since since we last posted. It's been just no news at all.
Yeah, that's why we haven't been recording. We've had just literally nothing to talk about.
Nothing going on.
Nothing at all. You guys, if you're listening, you probably have read the show notes and probably have a gander of why we're here. And we're here to say goodbye. Goodbye for now.
Yeah.
See you sometime. We'll see you around. Bye.
Okay, so
Bye.
anyways,
Bye.
Episode done. No.
Take care. You should have signed up for the Patreon, and we'll see you in the next night flight.
Yeah. We've been on our hiatus and life has been lifing for folks. And yeah, so we're coming back. We didn't want to just sign off and leave you hanging because you've been so wonderful to us over these last 5 years and following along. And when we left, we did say we would be back. And as a mom now, I gotta live up to my promises to my darlings out there. So
yes, couldn't leave you hanging. I mean, it's been 6 years. Sorry to
6.
yeah.
Well,
I guess
don't
so.
know.
I mean,
we didn't
Jan.
record this year. This is
Yes.
our first episode this year.
But
On
all right.
On a
still.
Wikipedia technicality, with it's been 6 years since we've
Okay.
started talking about the stars and putting out episodes for you guys every Monday, and it has been just a joy. Everyone who listens is cool as hell. Sorry, I just like negged you for if you weren't a Patreon member. Shout out to the Patreon members though, because they've been really holding it down. And yeah, before we go, it just wouldn't be a send-off without like giving a proper goodbye, check-in, and some updates.
Hell yeah. Who wants to go first?
Well, Lisa, you posed some good, I think, things to muse on for our like last 5, 6, whatever, give or take years of like then and now. And it's like, it's such a time trip to think about 2018. Like, and so
Yeah.
in like, who could have predicted some of the things we'd been recording through? Like, was not on my radar. So yeah, I like the question you brought to our group chat, which was about like maybe what we've learned over the last 5 years. I don't know if that's in both astrology or life or all of the above, but I think that's a cute place to start.
Yeah, I just wrote like some notes, like when this is a major life change for me. So for me, it's like something I normally journal on, stuff like this. So these are just like noting headlines, like headings that I sent to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have have expectations for you to, write certain things. I just had written down a bunch of things that I felt and had learned. And I guess for me, the main thesis, I guess, of what I wrote would be that it is like this journey, no matter what it is that you're doing, even if it's not astrology, if it is astrology, especially if it's astrology, but if it's not, if it's starting a project with, friends or having a weekly practice or whatever the thing is that you do, it starts with you. And so centering yourself is the thing that you're going to have to learn to do throughout the entire course of the project. And I think that it kind of goes for anything. But I think because I have had, personal trauma and other things in my life, like a lot of the times I am kind of like, oh, what does this person think of me? Or why am I doing that like this? I need this person to do this. And it's like when you focus on yourself or center yourself, it makes you a lot more grounded and capable of like having a thing that lasts long.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I love that.
That's good advice.
Just some little notes. That was like profound.
No,
shit
I mean,
in
this is
there.
like journaling. It's not like, I don't
Your
know.
journaling's
It's-
profound.
I didn't read all of it.
Yeah.
I didn't read it word for word.
You're saying there's better shit in there. There's you can go profounder.
There's worse shit in there. Like
she's like, I'm saving that.
and I'm, that kind of thing. Like it's like no,
No.
focus on yourself. Don't worry about what other people think of you. Don't.
Mm,
You have to do what you have to do.
mhm. Reading the
Yeah.
reviews definitely taught me that for sure.
I think two things come to mind if I'm thinking of like the totality. Obviously, we've learned the whole of astrology. Like,
Yeah.
Pretty
so much stuff. I mean, if you just think about how many, learning not only like another language and learning I don't know, can't even think of what, sorry guys, mom brain is real. I didn't want to believe that it was because I don't believe women. Just kidding. But
Believe the mom brain.
yeah, believe women, it turns out. They know things. No, like we've learned literally astrology and literally that information and all of that too, but also how to, put a thing together and work together as a group, which I think is like one of the hardest things to do. This is why like bands don't last and why projects don't go on for a long time. And it takes a lot to make those things happen. I think what I personally would say have been some of the most kind of profound things for me is definitely just starting the thing and not necessarily leaving space for you to learn and grow and change and have that be part of the process. I think it's a very kind of cliched thing, but I do think we wait so long because we're afraid that something isn't right yet, or that we don't know. We have to know all of these things. We have to know where something is going before we start a thing, because it is heartbreaking to have things not work or to feel misunderstood or to have stuff out there. It's vulnerable to put yourself out there in the world. Especially if it's something that you care about. And I think whether we like knew it or not at the beginning of this, I think that astrology was something that we, even though we might not have known as much about it as we do now, I think that we all kind of felt like this is a thing that feels kind of scary to talk about publicly, to admit that we are into this and that we want to know more about it and we want to have conversations like this. And so I think that allowing yourself to be messy, and not have it all figured out and kind of let it unfold the way that it is and will, has been really big for me, because that's not something that I like doing. I've never liked like learning in public, I will say. And this project has always been really helpful and affirming to say that, not only can you still have something that does well, people actually enjoy the mess and like being there on the process, and it helps connect you even more. Not to say don't totally be a mess, be somewhat together, but
thanks for understanding.
yeah.
Every time I said it was a full moon when it was a new moon. I appreciate it.
Yes.
I love all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think just off of something you said, Julia, too, and because I think a lot of people, especially women, over the years have been like, how do I start a podcast, or how do I do this, or like, how'd you get into astrology? And I think that maybe it was starting on an eclipse and being like, I don't know, you just jump in and go towards what grabs you, because I think especially now from 2018 to 2024, we're just seeing like, for some people, a lot of exhaustion, right? Like, a lot of longtime YouTubers are like, I can't fucking be in this machine anymore. I can like grinding in this. And I think, it goes to that corny, like, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. But it's like, yeah, if you want to learn astrology, making a vessel to do that, I think is what helped guide the vessel along for so long. Where if it was like, I'm going to make, I don't know, like, it's like signing yourself up to do a task that feels like task and homework versus like this, which felt like an open, comforting study space, and not like, as someone who's like historically bad at school, not like the pressure to be perfect or accurate, which I think in astrology, which you should be more accurate than not in astrology, but also you don't get accurate unless you make some mistakes too, and like talk to people and learn, and getting to meet all these like great astrologers and comedians and just like weird people throughout the years. It's just been so fun. I wrote down just one thing, which is maybe a little bit opposite of what we've been talking about, but also I think the further diving into woo, because it started with comedy, and like that's I think been a great place to enter anything that you're curious about, is with a fun, free, comedic mind, and also that it's all just not that serious either. Like there's like it's both very serious and both also like not that serious at all. Is like as so much woo can just be so like navel gazing and like doom and like causal, and then there's also like tools of reflection and humor and connection. And I feel like we've like really honored the humor and connection of woo in a space where woo can often be really dry and scary and sad. Not that it has to be like optimism only, but I think that there is a place for just like, yeah, dude, like we're all just like really trying out Earth right now. So let's do it together.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
think
was
a
like
sense of humor is the most important thing that anyone can have to get
Straight
through. Like, I don't know
up.
how
The
anybody
sixth
does it
sense,
with
as
that
they
one.
say. There was a really cute tweet that was like, in this economy, how could you not be doing witchcraft or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of like similar to what you're saying. This like, we can't be taking the stock market seriously, or you know, whatever, inflation, any of this stuff. Like we must use all of our resources, and also we're all in it. Like it's a community thing. So I think that's fun.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to talk about what they've been up to and where they think things are going for them? Just because I hate to do that at the end and like really have people turn it off.
Have it be rushed.
And now for your quick break. It's us, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
I mean, we have a few more things to discuss, but I figured it might be nice to break it up and
Well, I guess also this would be the portion of the show where we're talking about what's been happening on our week, and our week at this point is 7 months, so we can't necessarily catch up on all of that in the nitty gritty detail of sparkling water and periods of it, but obviously I had a baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody who's commented or sent heart eyes or sent any well wishes or gifts or anything. I think no matter what, having a baby really is a time when you can see how vast and wonderful your community is. I know that it can also be the opposite of that, which I think not nothing, but an astrological practice, I think, very much prepares you for the kind of both ands of taking care of a child and all of that too. It's incredibly overwhelming and wonderful because I have an incredible baby who is like truly the best, and have been floored by the support and outpouring of the people in my life. And like I said too, also, thinking of people that don't have the choice to do this or don't have the support and all of that, and how absolutely heartbreaking and isolating and lonely that can be. I'll just say it's a very, there's a word that I'm looking for, and it's like not paradigmic, it's like paradoxical time, I guess, where it is both like the happiest and the most intensely emotional thing, and having such an overwhelming outpouring of support and love from my community, and having such a wonderful, healthy, happy baby also puts in stark contrast the ways that not everybody has that opportunity. And I think especially right now with everything that's going on in the world, not to make it super heavy, but it is like a thing that you think about all of the time. And so it is just like a really like spiritually intense, but also really cool honor to be on this road with her. But she's just so cute. At the end of the day, she's just so cute.
She's so cute and she's so sweet. And she's
The
got the best mommy in the world.
Thank you.
and like chart twin too. So like
Yeah.
that helps.
Oh, I guess I could say that. I mean, not to put on all her blast all of her information, but the ways that, you know, you don't think, you don't get to like I guess I've always felt about astrology and about children is that it's like you kind of don't get the one that you think that you're supposed to get. You get the one that you need, and to get someone that's like so absolutely me is crazy. Like, and a lot of, you know, you keep saying that you're interested in going on this journey as also like part of, you know, anytime you're like having a child or being interfacing with children, you're dealing with your own inner child things naturally, or family sorts of things, than to have it so starkly presented. It's like you're really getting what you asked for.
Do you remember when the Astro Twins said about having a baby during your nodal return?
Yes, I remember the Astro Twins, and I feel like someone else said something about not getting pregnant. I also have to look back because I don't remember if we did we do an episode on zodiacal releasing?
I don't
know if we ever
I don't
did,
think we did a
because
full episode on it.
I feel like we like talked about it, but I remember listening to the astrology podcast. I have to look back and see if it like lines up with my lots, because I remember listening to the episode where they talk about how you do it and everything, and kind of looking at it and being like, oh, I bet you that's when I'm going to get pregnant. And I want to say I was right, because astrology is real. But yeah, I mean, it's talk about also a thing where you go like, oh, I'm just gonna like shoot my shot and see what happens, and then you have to kind of figure it out too. I would say, you know, I think especially now there's so many people who are you know, there's so many studies and things that come out about how we're having fewer children, and there are tons and tons of reasons for that. But I do think on this same topic of like, you know, choice and thinking through, I think it's absolutely the craziest decision that you ever make, if you are making it as a conscious decision to go like, am I ready? Do I have things in order? Is this right? And it's like hands down the absolute most insane decision I've ever made in my life. But also the best. So if you are thinking about it, not you know, again, absolutely aware of the myriad reasons why one would not do it, and definitely no pressure, and we need all kinds of people, not just moms. But also if you're drawn to it, just do it, you know, and you'll figure it out.
If a Sagittarius is saying it's one of the wildest things you can do, you know it's good crazy.
What do you have coming up for you, for her, for anyone?
Well, sorry, I have literal spilled milk. Okay. I have stand-up comedy coming up. I am, you know, hosting Chatterbox Comedy Night this coming Sunday with Lisa CHANOUX, and still very much doing comedy, wanting to get back out and do more shows. It's been hard, you know, obviously with the baby, not actually, but it's just, you know, orienting yourself in space and time is a little bit different now. But stand up for sure. Follow me there, and come see me at a show. I'll be posting where I'm performing, but still doing that. And who knows? I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what new projects come out. I know something.
I heard you were DJing on Friday.
Oh, I am DJing on Friday night at the Chatterbox for country night.
Cool.
That will have passed when this episode comes out.
Sorry, I brought it up,
but hey, it's fine. Hopefully I'll do it again.
Yeah,
we'll
you
see.
will. No, and your comedy is as great or better than ever. You're at the top of your game. You really are doing it all. So I don't want people to hear you just say stand-up comedy, because you're doing amazing, sweetie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
You've been such a role model of like your life doesn't end. I don't mean this like but like as an Aries moon, I'm always like motherhood and this, and it's like, oh wait, actually your life can just keep growing and getting better, and your friendships can build and like, again, sort of like what you said, like that might not be for everyone's experience, but if you nurture it and make that a important part of your life and world, like you can still be a friend, an artist, a stand-up, a creative person, a person with a full a full scope of life. And I just think that's rad as hell, because
Thank you.
a lot of people, I mean, it's a lot of fucking work. So good job and congrats. But also I think that's the beautifulness of your very fire sign family, is they're still the spark of life, and not just
baby.
okay, now go put yourself away because it's family time. And I think that's a really old school thing that's been around for so long. And I love that you guys aren't doing that. And if you wanted to do that, that's fine. But you're not, and it's fucking rad.
There's definitely ways that I think I am, but also, yeah, I mean, you do. Yeah, it's not easy, but you do, I think, need those things even more when you're a mom. And I think that, and also like the reminder, and again, this is not a critique of anybody, how anyone's doing their job, because however you need to get through and whatever you need to do to do this intensely, like time consuming and attention consuming job, do what you got to do. But I think also you forget that, like, that's also, I don't think that that's the life that anyone wants for their child, and you are the model. And so all of a sudden there is like a thing where you go, not in like a pressure way, but you go like, oh, well, I got to figure out how I show this new person, like, how to live life and how to prioritize things, or how to balance those things, how to balance your own, like, taking care of yourself and taking care of other people and all of these things. So that's, yeah, it's wild. It's cool though. It's very cool.
I love
Congrats.
it.
Thank you.
And her being so your chart feels very appropriate for all those things. It's like teaching yourself back at it.
Yeah.
While we're updating mid-roll, where can people also find you? And we'll put links to every thing as well. But just a reminder.
Sure. You can find me at Julia Loken on all platforms. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Actually, on TikTok, I'm not at Julia Loken. I'm at Julia Loken Comedy, I think.
You are.
All
right. Thank you. There might be some like dots in there. Also, I'm sure if you just find Julia Loken,
find her. You'll
find
her.
Pop up. I don't think there's another comedian one of me. There is another painter of me and a real estate agent. That was that's a fun thing to do. I think also as like a look up your alts.
Oh, have you looked up your alts? I have a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, I have millions.
Yeah.
I have 0.
You have 0?
One
of one, baby.
Yeah,
I know, I'm like, it's not a common name. Wow.
I think I told you all our Google alerts for anytime I'd be like looking out for like, oh, is there what's your sign mentioned in some article, and it'll be like, Stevie, former maiden name Anderson, won homecoming king, in North Carolina. It's like always a dude in North Carolina winning homecoming king, like time and time
Hell
again.
Yeah.
That guy goes off.
So shout out to all the Stevies.
Shout out King.
Getting their crowns.
Kings.
Stevie, what about you? What do you have happening? What's coming up?
What's happening? What is life? I think, as our listeners have heard over the years, we all, after coming off of like getting married and then like coming back from like married life, I feel like this year was like one of the first without like tons of stuff to do, which was both crazy, but also really necessary. I'm in the 12th house year. So it's just like, okay, what is a life with more space in it, right? After going pretty nonstop in almost every way and not really having that space since like 2020 proper. And even then we were still like we never really stopped. So, I mean, this year, just my Substack. I've been Substacking like a mofo. I launched it a couple years ago, but have been like just really nurturing that space, and like it just I think after also having so many, and I'm sure you guys, they kind of went away, but like all the like imposters on Instagram, I don't know, like there's so many social media sites that just got so annoying, and I'm like still on them, so don't worry. But it was just like nice to nurture like a writing, audio, video space. So right on,
it's so good too. It's great. Yeah, it's fun to read.
Been doing some events in LA. I want to do more. So And then I don't know, the future, don't have to get too into it, feels so for me pretty open, and I'm like want to travel more, want to work in astrology and travel stuff. So watch this space. I wish I had like more to share, but I'm kind of happy I actually don't have that much more to share, because I think I did hit like a level of exhaustion in like day job, working, astrology, podcasting, and now it's like kind of simplifying into like one, back to kind of like what you said at the beginning, Lisa, of just like coming back to self. And so just coming back to self a bit. But yeah, check out, it's starquality.substack.com. It's like a diary blog slash astrology learning forecast space, pop culture analysis stuff, just just dicking around on the internet, and still spaghetti underscore witch on all the Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, and all that. But I've just been really having more fun on Substack. I don't know. Maybe it's also after we've been doing What's Your Sign so long, like now my social media pages, which started as personal pages, have become business pages. And it's like, I think that's been where I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what does that look like? I have like both like astrology randoms who I love, and then like my cousin. I don't know. It's just like everything blurring together. So I think having I have a Finsta now. Like I'm being a little more, I'm like in more of my privacy era, but then publicly sharing what I want people to be able to know and read and enjoy about me and my brain.
Sounds like you're developing boundaries around, dare I say, social media and what you get let into your space and your time.
Totally. It's just like, well, it's like so much time. And it's like, whoa, if I'm going to be, maybe it's also with like the pending TikTok ban and then Instagram shadow banning anyone that like talks out about genocide. And like, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I also don't know Substack's full practices. And I think all hosting platforms typically go down the part, like the space of being bought out. Exactly. Yeah. So who knows? Like, who fucking knows? But I think for now being like, oh, if I'm going to spend time on the internet, why not spend time nerding out on astrology things and just like be in my Carrie Bradshaw era is what I'm calling in. And you can book readings with me. I'll put links and stuff. It's a good time to get in because I'm going to change my menu in the fall with a bigger menu with more stuff. Yeah. So there might be like some sale things, I think, while I pivot some stuff. But no, just enjoying my home and married life and my cat. And it's been slow and steady, but I'm liking it.
Nice.
Good.
So
very Taurian of you.
Yes.
Dude, yeah. It's going to be so weird once all these like outer planets, it's like we're going to have Neptune and Aries, and we're going to have Uranus and Gemini. We're going to have Pluto. I mean, I know Pluto's in Aquarius, but like Pluto will be in Aquarius. So we're just really entering a new timeline right now. I think just as us three, literally, but also the collective, I think, is entering just a whole new space and place. So if you're feeling called to enter a new timeline, this is maybe your sign to try it out. And that's the other part too, is just start trying things. You can I changed my Substack name because I was like, actually, wait, I need to streamline this and do you can start tooling around with stuff and then refine as you go. I think we also have done a really good job of doing that on What's Your Sign too, is I don't know, shape shifting it a bit as it goes along, and it doesn't have to be this daunting homework or something. Anyways, so that's what I've been up to.
Hell yeah.
Lisa.
Well, for me, I've been looking for a job. I'm looking for a job. If anyone knows anyone that works at MSG, the Sphere, or for the New York Knicks, though, that's my what I'm looking to do right now.
Cool.
Obviously, if you know anyone, send them my way. I'm having trouble getting past their AI resume reader. So let me know. And just looking for work, trying not to die. Those are my top two.
Hell yeah.
had a
Good
few
ones.
little health things, and so working on that stuff, and catch my Netflix is a Joke set on Sirius XM. I have a tour coming up. It is Santa Cruz, Portland, Humboldt, Eureka, and San Francisco. I will be in Portland for 5 days. I am doing some IRL natal chart readings. There are a few slots still available. If you're interested, just DM me at Lisa CHANOUX. I have exclusive tour merch, only going to be available for this tour. Hopefully buy it, please. And it wasn't made with sticker mules, so you're welcome for that. But I have stickers, magnets, and greeting cards. They're all really cute. They're all really fun. They're all super reasonably priced and made by a local artist, aka me. I have a bunch of stand-up shows coming up, and the ones I need you to come to are Thursday, the 25th of July at Club TG, the 28th of July at the Chatterbox, and then you can check out all my August dates on my Instagram. I think that's it. If you know of a job, really am
Yeah, I mean-
trying to not work where I'm working right now. So
I will also take like a 6 figures and up, high paying, anything, but with no work involved. If anyone's got that available.
I'll work, and I will work. I work cheap, like for real. Just want something that's feeling consistent.
I like
Mhm.
this
I
sphere.
don't want a
MSG.
service industry job, please. I forgot to say that. Do not
Yeah.
hit me up with a bartending job.
She paid her dues. All right. May the money
Yeah.
gods bless
Yeah,
us all. And if you're
MSGs,
listening, you as well.
sphere. I feel like someone out there. This is already
This
pinging
just
some
reminded me. I have a
people for
group. I have a group to add you to, Lisa. I'll send it to you after. I know.
I knew it would. I knew it would work.
Yeah. No, I got.
I knew
I
just
have-
saying it out loud would work.
We
Yeah.
have to close mouths, right? Don't get fed. Oh wait, that reminds me. While we're here, on my Substack, there is a paid tier, so please join there.
Join the paid.
Join the paid. The paywall is it's worth. There's gonna be little teases, but when you get past the paywall, oof, it's
Mhm.
a nice spicy meatball. So yeah, I mean, dude, it is. We are. God, it'd be very interesting to listen back to. Really, maybe I will over the summer. Listen to some early eps of some transits and see what hasn't come back. But it's just been. I'm glad we could report live from the front lines of 2018 to 2023 /4 because there's been a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, aren't you so glad we're not reporting from the front lines regarding
Oh, we gotta
what
know.
happened this week? Like,
Mhm.
Oh fuck no. Like, and that's the thing is like I hope everyone listening, like, y'all, community forever. Like, don't like be with your talk to your neighbors, be with your people, like spread love. Like, we're gonna get through whatever hard time you're in, and whatever hard times are ahead, we're gonna get through them. But same thing with astrology, and coming back to my kind of point of like, it's not so serious. It is so serious. Is it both? Is like, it should be a tool that helps you and enlightens you and connects you to other people. And if you're feeling like it's not doing those things, it's totally, I think we've said this over the years, like it's totally okay to like take a break and to come back when you're ready to do that. Same thing with like with news consumption, like anything, like if it's really just adding harm, like we want to do no harm wherever we can. So do no harm, spread the love. Okay, the whoop seeped out as it does, but I mean, I think we joked like astrology just makes you, the more you learn, it's like it started as a tool to like make fun of people and judge, and then it's become just like, oh wait, I'm more understanding. Like I didn't know I was signing up for that when we started this podcast. It's like, oh, I'll be like more empathetic to more people. Oh shit.
I think any sort of knowledge is going to soften you a bit. I mean, like even
Ideally.
I guess similarly,
Yes.
like learning a new language and being like, oh, this is why people think Americans are stupid or whatever, because this like they come from this other type of culture or whatever, like the things that you're learning about and seeing. And I don't know, it does feel like to some extent that, I mean, the more you know, you don't know anything, kind of.
How crazy is it that I forgot that I went to Mexico for a month this year? I'm like, oh, right. I did go learn a language for a month and left my home. Anyways, you just remind me, like, oh, yeah, I guess I did do some stuff this year. I just went into like, it's just this half of the year has already felt like a full year already.
Yeah.
Like, I've been almost looking forward to Mercury retrograde, kind of like maybe hopefully slowing some things down upcoming, but if you
I've been traveling a ton too, and I think that you're right to have that instinct, because it is such a big thing and it is something you did, but then when you get asked what you've been doing, you always try to think of like, what's the most productive thing I've done, and it's like, no, we're friends.
I think it's also something that's hard to quantify, not only because it's not productive, but also it's like, what do you want? Like a day, even if you said a day by day breakdown of what you did, it's an internal, it's a you experience. And it's not to say that it's not one that you would talk about or say, here's like some great places that I went to or some things that I saw or whatever. But I think it's also like, I don't know. It's like saying you did mushrooms versus tripping on learning from mushrooms. You know what I mean? Being like, yeah, I can say that I went and did drugs on a camping trip, but that's not what actually happened. What happened was I like fucking left the universe and did that. But if you explain it to someone like a dream or whatever, too, like
recapping trips, psychedelic and travel are just like impossible. Like here's like a few cute photos. I think I will do, because it was on my Mars ascendant line so it was interesting for my astrocartography, and I'll probably like write. I've been meaning to. That'll probably be a blog one of these days, but I do think that's maybe the only give I'll get before diving deep in a different time is like, if you want to challenge yourself, go to a Mars line. I mean, I think people get really freaked out by Mars, especially as we've just been in this Mars Uranus time, and maybe it's because I'm a very Martian person, but you know, there's some planets that really encourage relaxing, and there's sometimes in life you want to commit and have structure and like do the thing. And so I'm really glad I went to somewhere that really pushed me to do a thing.
Yeah. Any last from our notes?
I mean, I have a lot of notes, so we don't have to get to all of this stuff.
I'm down for one or two more. But it depends. I guess we'll see how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Yeah. I guess the things that I wrote down were mostly about like what I thought astrology was when we started, what it is to me now. I wrote down some recommendations for other. I've been, since not recording, listening to a lot of podcasts and reading. I don't have any books to recommend, but you know, I have a few recommendations and some favorite moments from the last 5 years. I guess I could just start with those. I feel like my favorite moments. Well, I guess I'll start by saying that when we started astrology, I kind of thought it was just like horoscopes, and I feel blessed to know that that's not what it is. I feel very happy to know that it's not just people writing down like what they think your future is on a
not just
newspaper
fortune
article
telling
or whatever. Yeah. Well, I mean, even if it was just fortune telling, but I don't know, those little like almost fortune cookie-esque, like small, short. That's kind of what I thought. And so I'm happy to know that that's not what it is. I guess now I think that I'm not using it as much. It's kind of more back to a fun space, and I take it a lot less seriously, which has also been nice. My favorite moments, I would say I loved our 5-year anniversary live episode. That was
really
during
fun.
difficult time for me, so it was nice to have something that was I don't know, different to focus on. And I was really surprised by going on the Astrology Podcast with Chris Brennan. I like sometimes listen to their podcast and I always think it's so technical, and so having like an actual fun. I mean, it was a lot of like research and work, but having a lot of fun on air was not something I had expected, and that kind of changed my brain some. Recommendations for other stuff. I have been loving Alan Strickland Williams' new podcast, Finding My Audience, Pop Mystery Pod with Tess Barker, and always the Gay Power Half Hour. So check out any of those. Obviously, other astrology podcasts. There's many. The Astrology Podcast, Jessica Lanyadoo, Ghost of a Podcast, etc. All great resources.
Yeah. I loved our 5-year anniversary. I guess to me, not high point, but I just was thinking because also the hotel came up in another show I was watching. But I think going to New York was one of the coolest things on earth.
That was so fun.
That was
For Saludos, where we did our in-store show, and felt like just like also a kind of not a high point necessarily, but I also thinking back, going like, oh, it really was like a crescendo of both astrology and kind of like influencer culture kinds of things too, and it was such a moment, but also just like so fun getting flown out, having just traveled to remind that always thinking of different travel times and everything. But I love that. I also just remembered, I mean, all of our live events I think have been really special. I loved our in-store plus bus where we did a dance and Atsuko came and taught a dance, and we did our like live readings. Now she's she ain't answered my text. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
She still does, no, but
still, yes, still wonderful, dear friend. Glad she's blown up the way that she has. But I was also remembering another one I think that we did, during lockdown when we were doing a lot more like Zoom live events for the moon, but there was another one where we did like a guided meditation and a dance at the end, which I was like, oh, that's so fun that we did that. So I think just like all of those, there's just so many things where we just had fun, and as much as we always get serious, we also always laugh and do something kind of silly, and that's awesome.
You also made me think of, now I ran into Matt Rogers recently, and he was like, I'm really into astrology now. It's hilarious. Like there's so many people that came on our show that didn't know anything, and now they're like, this is my whole world. I'm like, it's so insane.
Yes, so many people. I do, again, I don't want to say like, oh, it's all us. Because I think obviously
it is, though.
There are other people, but there are people that I know like in my life where I'm like, oh, I think we did give a lot of people permission to at least like look more into these things and open up a part of themselves that they maybe wouldn't have, because we did it. And I don't know, time will tell if that has served them, but I think so. I hope so. I think people have softened a bit in those ways, and that's got to be a positive writ large, IMO.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll just never forget Susan Miller walking into your East Hollywood.
I mean,
apartment. Like, what the fuck?
Iconic.
Having Susan Miller in my apartment, seeing her at a
juxtaposition of her and her just fabulous, like New York, like just so posh looking, and then it's just like, oh, she's like she's in Julia's apartment right now. It's so cool.
Absolutely incredible. We've had so many cool things, and I guess I think I too would say I take astrology a little bit less serious, not in its like value, but what I was just thinking of is I don't feel like defensive about it at all. And I think that's like a cool feeling. I think, you get so into it and you're so excited about it and you want everyone to feel the same way. And I think that letting everybody have their own kind of relationship and not necessarily feeling like I have to correct someone if they're saying something wrong, or go, be like there's not one way to do it or practice it, and kind of being like, that's when you put anything out, you hope that it is interpreted in a certain way, but also going like, it's not up to me, it's just up to me to make the thing and put it out, and how you receive it is up to you. So I think that's nice to not feel like I have to like defend astrology. Astrology's been around for thousands of years, and I think it's doing just fine without I'm not going to be the one that that does it. But that's
I think more people. I feel like the hate. Not that there might be less hater. I feel like people have
there's less haters
opened up in their acceptance, even now that there had to be this push to do it. But in the beginning, there was definitely a lot. I don't know, maybe it was just louder, but or also maybe just time goes on. You're like, well, I don't care. I'm not like a door-to-door Mormon here to like get you on board. Like, I don't if you connect to it, cool. And also there's other realms of, mysticism, whether you're into like tarot or human design or enneagrams or whatever it is that you're into that might be really connecting with you. So I think also you can follow those connections too. I think maybe because astrology is so like daily, which I didn't know starting this, was like, oh my God, it's like daily become into my life and become like my work, which was like, okay, tight. But then also in a way, like be hanging out now with more astrology people. I don't feel that urge to be like, let's talk charts, let's go in, let's do astro. Maybe it's because it's so omnipresent. And also I think the beauty for me of astrology is like letting life unfold and then look and be like, oh, okay, like there's the connection there, rather than like kind of trying to challenge the future and see what will happen, or like be too like fate driven, like, oh well, I can only do this then. Like I don't like the limitations or like the fear or any of that. So I think I think that's where the feelings of like it's not so serious, because like it is that serious, but then also but it should be a place. It's a language. It is like really just a language. And I think it's important to go to different readers too, because they're all just interpreters who are going to be working with the same material, but seeing different things. Right. And yeah, I mean, God, there's just been too many, just like all the people we've met has just been like so fucking cool. Like everyone from like the signers to like to guests. And I think anytime we did live stuff was just always just like a good party, because we're all like fun to be around. So it was always just a good hang. But going on the Astrology Podcast was pretty fucking cool. Yeah. Just maybe because it's just so like a revered place. And then like, it's like, who are these? We're allowed in here. But being an episode about comedy and astrology, it was really cool that Chris gave us that space to talk about that. And also thanks for the microphones.
Yes,
Daddy. And that were and also daddy
came on here and like
I know
played Fuck, Marry, Kill and was cool, and
super down.
Can't say that for
that's true. Yeah.
That's very true.
For one day only, we will set a 5,000 per host fee on Patreon, and we'll just give you a 24-hour tell-all of just kidding. But if that pings any interest,
I know, yeah.
I'll do it. I am looking for work. I don't know if I've said it enough.
Also
would love $1,000.
Yeah, also would love that money. Also, I guess also looking for work too. Okay.
Give us our coin. Sound off in the comments if you want a like very tell-all one day only. Starting price $5,000 per host. So that's about $15,000. Maybe we can be flexible. We'll talk about it. Anyway,
I think even if it doesn't have to be like per person, obviously. I think it's just like if there's enough people that would do however much,
we'll
like
tell you how much
how much for the answer. Yes.
Or whatever.
Depending on how juicy the question is.
Yeah. Just that I think it's like collectively, if you guys could all raise $5,000 per host. Again, I don't need a single donor to do all of that. It's not $5,000 each, although that would be absolutely incredible.
Just to gossip.
If you've had that money this whole time and you're not on Patreon,
I don't know what to tell you.
And I think that's a good reminder too. If you, in a world where everything is becoming very big box and very corporate, if there are indie things you enjoy, support them. Not just us, but anybody. I think if you really like and value someone's work, if a lot of folks are only charging like the cost of a coffee a month to treat them for the work they're doing, do it. Just support. We got to be supporting these artists, or talk to you if you're like a Rockefeller, get back. Start hitting become benefactors of the arts. Like
I don't know when we stopped saying that like giving away money and spending a lot of money on people was like not cool, but it's the coolest thing you can do.
Cool.
Tip big fucking make it rain and do that in all people that can make it rain in all areas of their life. That's the coolest thing you can do with your money. Your money sitting somewhere, whatever, you being tight with it. If you've got it, obviously, if you don't got it. But also, guess who are the fucking most generous people you know in your life? People that have $20 in their bank account. Someone did this a thread where they were like, rich people will not tip on a thing. Like a poor person buys the round knowing that they're about to overdraft their bank account because that's what you do. But like, buy the round, tip big, support the people. Giving away money is fucking cool. It's not doing anything like to not. All right.
And that said, I really need you, Humble 86. I really do need you to come out. I need you to buy tickets. They're $10 and I'm headlining with my husband. It never happens.
Dude, it's gonna be awesome. Lisa also doing incredible stand-up right now and is making the great merch, doing all the stuff. Everyone's doing cool work. Subscribe to Stevie Substack.
Come through. Maybe I'll raffle off a paid subscription. Get in there, and that's a good reminder too. I would suggest staying subscribed to all of our What's Your Sign things. You never know when there'll be updates. You never know when maybe a big world event happens and we want to pop on and say hi. You just don't. I'm just saying, it doesn't mean you have to go like click goodbye. I'm saying I would stay on there. I'm going to stay on.
All right.
I'm going to stay on there.
Stay on there. You'll get shared. You'll get shared updates. Just saying.
Go to Lisa's
I'm going to keep posting my show flyers on there.
Yeah. Tickets. Find the tickets on Lisa's page and on What's Your Sign. It's all going to be very easy for you to find. It's all in the links in the show notes as well.
And for our listeners abroad, my dear friend Bianca Cristo is going to be in Fringe this year. I'm really excited to see the show, see what it's all about. You should go check it out. That's a great place to spend your money for art.
Shout out to the international listeners, actually. Thanks for listening to all this American nonsense a lot of the time. And also like the folks who've just like reached out from like all over it's just been really cool to see how far and wide this podcast has reached. So shout out probably to our number one super fans, the Australians, but shout out to everybody worldwide.
Yeah. All the signers all over the world. Every one of you has been so cool and awesome. Not a single person that I've met that has been through the podcast that hasn't been cool. So,
no, I'm just.
I know. I'm like, well,
there's like two.
That's on the.
Yeah.
That's on the.
That's on the. Yeah, that's on gossip. The gossip. Pay per question. Episode.
Again, if you're down, we'll do it. I guess. Also, a reminder. Do we have any more note things that we need to get through?
I think I'm all done. I don't know about you.
All right. I was just going to say, this is also my, I guess kind of tying it back to the beginning thing that you were saying, Lisa, of centering yourself and learning, being grounded and all of that too. I guess as an ending comes, like you said, this is a big life event and something I think it's important to remind ourselves and each other and everything too, that an ending is not like a failure or it is just what it is, and to learn from it and to grow from it and to take away the lessons and all of the wonderful things that came, and it's just the beginning of a new chapter. I know that's something that's not always, again, easy for me. It's easy for me to go, oh, that means that this isn't, I did something wrong, or I suck, like you're saying, all these things. I'm a failure. I can't make things work, or whatever that is. It's easy to go into those places, but something that I wrote down about this is that I want to choose to have this be, the cool beginning of a new chapter where I can easily look back and go, oh, all of these things that I learned from this thing are what got me to this next place, instead of it being something that you go like, oh, I'm sad. I'm sad that this is all of the ways that you can punish yourself or do all those things. I think that is like, I don't know, if we can work on having better like endings and lessons learned from things. I think that makes the whole of life so much easier and better.
I think the same thing goes for like anything where you feel limited or you feel scarcity around, and not that I'm sure people will be sad about this ending, but not in that way necessarily.
We've seen your DMs being like, when you coming back? So thanks for thinking of us.
sometimes when you feel like there are limitations or you're not allowed to do certain things or you can't, you're stuck in a certain place, you're having, you know, a health problem, a twisted ankle, whatever, you're limited. It is like finding the things you can do well and doing them as hard as you can, and just like using those limitations as like boundaries, guidelines, protection. Like consider it protection, you know, like this is protecting you from going bungee jumping this week or whatever other thing might be dangerous. I don't know if we can reframe not just endings but like all of those type of things. Like when you don't get invited somewhere, maybe it's like we can reframe that as this is the world asking you to go somewhere else today.
Yeah, I think about it like with TV shows a lot of the time. It's like so sad when a show's cut off too early, but also really also sad when it's gone on too long and you're like, they could have ended that on season 5. Like that would have been a nice like wrap up. And I think maybe it's because like I've had like a couple radio shows in the past, and it is that knowing that compass of like when a project feels like you can end not out of like I don't know, like out of a forced nature, right? When you get to choose what your next steps are is always just so great. And I'm like, we've killed it. Like, and I'm just like so impressed with both of you and like everything that you guys do. And like, and you're just, yeah, I'm just impressed with you guys and myself and all of us and everyone listening. And just make your stuff. If you have stuff you want to make, just make your shit. Don't worry if isn't someone else doing that, or is there enough people talking about astrology, or is there enough people doing this? Like, just do your thing.
Hell yeah.
There's no rules. There's laws, but there's no rules. There's no rules. So work within the limitations, and yeah, just do your damn thing.
Do your thing.
What's
Thanks,
your sign?
guys.
What's your sign forever, though?
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Too.
And thank you to everyone. Anyone who's given us
shout out to
$1 or a
Arnazzo
minute.
for the banger theme song.
Yes.
Would be remiss to not note. I think
Absolutely.
that theme song such a hook.
Absolutely.
Such a catchy...
Hey, all the things that came together to make this thing a thing that people wanted to be a part of. I think absolutely the theme song is, I mean, that's the first thing that Chris Brennan, not that that's like the end all be all, but we got a shout out very early on the Astrology Podcast for this theme song. So
shout out to the songstress.
Yeah.
And you got, did you say it? Chatterbox this
yeah, come see
week, Sunday.
Yeah, Lisa and I are hosting Chatterbox this Sunday when this episode comes out. $5 tickets available at eventbrite.com. $10 tickets at the door if you're sleeping on those pre-sale tickets.
We're also there, I'm not going to say every week, but almost every week. So if you do like catch us on a night, I mean, it's very rare to catch me in a good mood these days, but if you do happen to catch me on a good night, like sometimes I'll answer your questions for free. So just so you know, that's where we're at on Sundays.
Sundays at 8. Yeah, go see stuff. Go see stuff live. Please.
Leave your house.
Yeah.
If you can.
Everybody.
Enjoy
you
life.
always feel better. You always feel better.
And independently produced, dare I say, you know, has been called the best independently produced show in the country. So
your favorite comedian's favorite comedy show.
That's
I
it
would say.
there. That's right there.
It is what it is. So yeah, come out, tell your friends if you're not in our area, share it. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. This has been such a wonderful ride, and yeah, like Stevie said, you know, keep an eye out. Well, you never know. But it's been an honor and a privilege to be in your ears every Monday and to go with you on this ride, and for you to listen to us, learn about this thing that we have grown to love and incorporate in our lives in a really cool way. And thank you for being with us.
I was about to say, like, we can't unsee it now. So I guess there's that with the astrology is like, well, I know way too much about this solar system and world. And thank you for being along with us. And yeah, letting us be, you know, the friends talking that you're eavesdropping in on, which has been a truly honor privilege. Love you guys.
Highest praise you could receive, I think.
Don't be a stranger.
Yeah. We love you. Be kind to yourself and others. See you around.
Bye.
Bye.